I'm Georgia Woods and welcome to GoFly Online. Today we are going to look at the legal requirements for keeping and maintaining a pilot logbook. In Australia, CASR 61.345 stipulates the requirements for maintaining a pilot logbook. Some important points are: you must ensure the logbook is kept on hand for 7 years from the last entry and not altered in any way. You must produce the logbook within 7 days of request by CASA. Information you must enter in your logbook includes the date the flight began, the aircraft type, the aircraft call sign, the pilot in command and other crew, the departure and arrival point, if the flight was command or dual, if the flight was flown in daytime or night. Let's now look at a typical logbook and fill it out together. First of all, it's important you fill out the front of your logbook correctly. The personal particulars should be completed, including your name, address, contact details, and most importantly, your pilot CASA ARN, Aviation Reference Number, or your Recreational Aviation Australia student or pilot number. Most logbooks have a theory examination pass section where all theory exams you have completed and passed should be filled out in this section and signed off by an approved person or your flight instructor. There is also a section of previous experience. Any previous experience should be entered in this section. Let's now look at a typical logbook page. It is important to write the year at the top of the logbook page. Most logbooks will handle both visual, instrument, single and multi-engine flights. For today's purpose, we are only going to be looking at day VFR flying in a single-engine aircraft. Today we will look at a typical dual training flight and a solo flight if you are a student, and a typical private flight if you are a licensed VFR pilot. Let's assume you are a student pilot conducting a dual stall lesson with your flight instructor. Firstly, we go to the month, which is March, then the date, which is the 21st. Aircraft type will be Sling 02. Registration will be 7788. Pilot in command is the flight instructor D. Wills. And other pilot or crew will be the student yourself, and it is okay to put either your own name or self. In details, we will put in the departure aerodrome, which is Caloundra, the identifier for Caloundra being YCDR. This can be located in the IRSA. Then what the lesson is, stalls, then the arrival aerodrome again. We then move across to the single engine column part. As we are flying a single engine aircraft and being a dual lesson, you will fill out the dual section under day as we are flying by day VFR. If the lesson is 1 hour, we put 1.0. If it is less, say 0.8, we would write 0.8. If it was 1.3, we would write 1.3. When going solo and being supervised by your instructor, you simply write yourself as pilot in command. If you were conducting solo circuits, you would write Caloundra as YCDR circuits. You would then place the time under the day command column. Once you have your license or certificate and are conducting a private flight, you fill it out in the same way. However, you will always be pilot in command, and you will always fill out the day command column. Under details, if you are flying to another aerodrome, make sure you put this in the details section. For instance, let's assume we are flying from Caloundra to Redcliffe, then return. You would write YCDR, YRED, then YCDR. Remember to always consult your flying instructor if you are still confused or unsure of how to fill out your logbook. It's also a good idea to make sure your flight instructor checks your logbook and signs it regularly to be certified as true and correct. It is also important to add up all of your flight time at the bottom of each page once you've completed the page, and add the totals to the rolling column on the next page. Every logbook has a different way of doing this, but it should have instructions in the logbook which columns to add and which to carry forward onto the next page. This will allow, as you gain more experience, to know how much flying experience you have simply by going to the last filled out page of your logbook. Remember, you have to use a pen, not a pencil, black pen being preferable. If you make a mistake, do not use whiteout. Simply cross out the line initially, then start a new line entry. I hope this has made understanding how to fill out your logbook a little easier. Thanks for joining me today. Happy and safe flying, and see you next time on GoFly Online.